Dedicated athletic rehabilitation and physical therapy to help them get better off of it. Certified athletic trainers in our PSM schools providing daily support to our athletes and a specialized orthopedic walk-in clinic when injury strikes. Call 260-266-4007 to speak to our care navigators or visit parkviewsportsmedicine.com to learn more about what we can do to improve athletes at all levels. Parkview Sports Medicine. Become more. Joint pain, sprains, strains, or a possible broken bone? Make the Parkview Ortho Express walk-in clinic your first stop when you have an orthopedic or sports injury. Call 260-266-4007 for more information.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Joint pain, sprains, strains, or a possible broken bone? Make the Parkview Ortho Express walk-in clinic your first stop when you have an orthopedic or sports injury. Parkview Ortho Express, located at the Sport One Parkview Fieldhouse, gives you access to quick care and orthopedic physicians when you need it most. Get x-rays, treatment, and referrals to Parkview Care, all in the convenience of a walk-in clinic. Call 260-266-4007 for more information.
Thank you for watching Summit City Sports. To help broaden our coverage, we're asking you to become a monthly sponsor to our Patreon account. We produce weekly highlights and live video broadcast. When the Homestead girls golf team won its first state title in program history, we were there. When Fort Wayne brought back 3 state titles in cross country, we were there. We believe in sharing positive stories and setting the standard for how high school sports should be covered. Join us and donate today.
This is an invitation to join a movement propelled by people who care and members who have a share in the place they bank.
Good morning, Sam.
So when you have the chance to get your first home loan, you know an expert will guide you every step of the way. Or when it's time to buy your new car, you'll be treated like more than just a credit score.
Good news, ProFed can get you that payment.
This is an invitation to a place where simply belonging can help enrich your whole community. ProFed Credit Union. You're invited.
Welcome inside the Parkview Sport One Ice House for tonight's second of our 2 games here for tonight's high school hockey doubleheader. Tonight's second matchup is going to be featuring the Homestead Spartans and the Carroll Chargers. My name is Joe Hacker. I'll be doing your play-by-play tonight. Alongside me on the camera is, of course, Brandon Porter. Just a quick word from some more of our sponsors before we get into tonight's broadcast. Today's broadcast is, of course, brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. Follow us on Twitter at 260sports, like our Facebook page, Summit City Sports, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Kelly Automotive Group is Indiana's #1 automotive group. With over 1,000 new vehicles and 500 pre-owned vehicles to choose from, please visit drivekelly.com. Simple, transparent, reliable. Tom Steele Tire has been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years, and they will help you to find the perfect tire for your vehicle and other auto repair services like brakes, wheel alignments, engine diagnostics, and more. Big Eyed Fish has been around the Northeast Indiana area for generations. Like their Facebook pages for updated promotions. Enjoy the best fish in Fort Wayne in a family-friendly environment at Big Eyed Fish. You're invited to join ProFed Credit Union, where we get to know you to better serve you. Sign up online in 5 minutes or stop by a branch. Join ProFed today and start owning your financial future at profedcu.org. At Ottenweller Contracting, we invest in our customers by providing peace of mind during the entire process from bid to build. Visit OttenwellerContracting.com. Summit Volleyball trains and builds the highest quality volleyball players in the area. From ages 5 to 18, our players are equipped with elite level skills and a foundation of life skills. Jump on board, and together we can reach the summit. Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning is dedicated to providing the best possible solution for your home or business, a system and solution that fits your unique needs. Visit AndersonCoolHeat.com. El Azteca Mexican Restaurant has been a Fort Wayne favorite since 1973. El Azteca Mexican recipes are sure to tantalize your taste buds. Visit elaztecarestaurant.com. iCryo specializes in whole body cryotherapy, body sculpting, cryofacials, infrared sauna, and compression therapy services. Check out Jalen Smith's signature location on Coliseum Boulevard by Blaze Pizza. And finally, at Parkview Sports Medicine, it is game on. We serve every level of athlete with our integrated sports medicine team, including the region's only specialized athletic rehab facility. Learn more about our services by logging on to parkviewsportsmedicine.com. Well, like I said, welcome into tonight's second matchup. We got Homestead versus Carroll. Rivals going back, a crosstown rivalry. Here on the ice rink, they've been in the city championship against each other the last 2 seasons. This year, it's a little bit of a different story, though. Homestead is 2-1 against Carroll this season, with Homestead's 2 wins against Carroll being in rather convincing fashion. I think a 7-2 and a 6-2, 6-1 win, something along those lines. But Carroll did sneak in a 4-3 win against Homestead earlier on in the season when these teams were seeing each other frequently. So, of course, we'll start by talking a little bit about our scoring leaders, highlighting some of the key players in this matchup. And it's got to start with P.J. Eisenbarger and Zach Juarez for the Homestead Spartans, leading the way in the point department in the city. P.J. leading the entire league with 10 points. Zachary Juarez right there behind him at 8 points. And also tied for that second place spot at 8 points is one of our Carroll players here, Simon Leininger. He's really been driving the bus a lot for him this year, scoring 5 goals, including the overtime winner in their overtime win last week, upset over the Fort Wayne Vipers, who also dropped their game tonight against the Leo Lions 2-1. So a rough stretch for the Fort Wayne Vipers, and Carroll's going to look to capitalize and start another win streak here. Last week for Homestead, they pulled out a 3-2 win in overtime as well, that over the Leo Lions. So 2 overtime games. Unfortunately, we weren't able to bring the Homestead and Leo game to you on SummitCitySports.com last week, but we're back here tonight. Looking ahead briefly, as I mentioned, not being able to cover some games, on Friday and Saturday, we're going to have a makeup game back-to-back with Carroll and Leo on Friday at 8. We will unfortunately not have that one on SummitCitySports.com for you all. We'll be too busy with basketball, so you'll have to catch that one either here in person at the Ice House or on Live Barn, which you can purchase for a monthly fee. However, on Saturday night, Leo and Carroll will play each other again, another makeup game. We will carry that one for you. That's also going to be an 8 p.m. puck drop. So as these teams get close to finishing up their warm-ups, we're going to take another timeout, and we will be back for the national anthem and puck drop here on SummitCitySports.com.
The Kelly Automotive Group is simple, transparent, reliable, Simple. Our customer specialists make buying a car easy and fun. Transparent. Our price listed is the best price. No hassle, no gimmicks. Reliable. Buy with confidence and peace of mind. We work hard to ensure the best value however you shop. Come see us in Decatur at the 2733 Auto Mall and shop 7 brands in one location. The Kelly Automotive Group. Simple, transparent, reliable.
This is an invitation to join a movement propelled by people who care and members who have a share in the place they bank.
Good morning, Sam.
So when you have the chance to get your first home loan, you know an expert will guide you every step of the way. Or when it's time to buy your new car, you'll be treated like more than just a credit score.
Good news, ProFed can get you that payment.
This is an invitation to a place where simply belonging can help enrich your whole community. ProFed Credit Union. You're invited.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Welcome back to the Parkview Sport One Ice House. Warm-ups have concluded. The teams are getting together in their creases, getting their final words of encouragement for the boys, and we're going to be ready here for the national anthem anytime. It looks like in goal tonight for the Spartans, it is going to be Lane Copeland. No surprise there. He's played all 8 league games for the Spartans so far this year with a 1.5 goals against average and a .929 save percentage. Wow, that has got to be leading the league. Nope, Michael Hall. How about that? And for the Carroll Chargers, it's going to be Carson Carteau, keeping with the Chargers' usual arrangement of alternating between their goalies each game. But now we'll go ahead and honor America with the playing of the national anthem. All right, it is time for puck drop here. And just a quick note, a quick shout out to assistant coach for the Carroll Chargers, Jake Detz. A bold play tonight, coming out with the suit compared to the other coaches on the team not rocking the suit. So we'll see how that one plays out for him. Assistant coach, one up in the head coach. I don't know how we feel about that one, but we'll have to see how it goes. Again, Carroll and Homestead tonight. We'll see who the starters are. But you'd have to presume for the Spartans, they'll be starting with Zach Juarez, their captain, senior, and their number 1 center. And per Carroll's standard situation, they'll probably counter with Simon Leininger and Nolan Blakely, who are 2 of the top scorers in the league. Brody Burge will probably be on the other flank there for the center, Blakely. We'll see here in a moment when these players come out. As you can see there, the goaltenders are, in fact, going to be Copeland and Carson Carteau. Carteau for the Chargers. This is his 5th appearance. He's got 84 saves on the year with a 3.08 goals against average and a .894 save percentage, just 1/100th of a point, I think, lower than the save percentage of his battery mate, Jared Reinhold, a .895 save percentage. And as I mentioned earlier, Copeland still has not missed a league game for the Spartans, and that's fine because they are 6-2 tonight, leading the league in points at 12. But on their tail, 3 points behind, are the Fort Wayne Vipers. The puck is down. We have hockey on here in Fort Wayne. Johnson will dump the puck in for the Spartans. Klein retrieves for the Chargers. Plays it up the wall where it looks like that's Leininger in the corner with it. Taking some time to look. He'll throw it up the glass, but Johnson's there. Battle ensues, and it comes down behind the net to Klein. Finds an outlet to Burge, right to the middle for Blakely. Now Leininger, and here come the Chargers. Cuts to the middle. He's through one. Across for Blakely, just out of his reach. But the Chargers have control down low. Now Leininger, one-timer. Blakely saved by Copeland. And a couple of early tests there for Copeland as the Chargers get a couple of nice looks there off the start. That first one to Blakely from Leininger, just a little bit out of the reach, sliding under his stick. And then the one-timer from Blakely. A good job there by Copeland to come out and challenge that shot. They're already going to change the lines for Carroll. It's going to be Wollum's line out there now. They'll get the puck deep where Nicole will retrieve it and pass it up to Elkins. Tipped ahead where Tigner turns it over. Intercepts. Now Reichert backhands it up to the wall to Elkins. Elkins finds Jeanette, who takes a check from Wollum. Tigner holds the puck in for Carroll. It's out at the blue line now for Klenke. Across for Nicole. And here comes Nicole. The defenseman gets by Klenke. Tries to go to the backhand. Saved by Carteau. It's in the corner now. Nicole still down there battling for it. Juarez in pursuit. He feeds one to the middle where it's off the skate of Klenke and back into the corner where Wollum has it. It's held in by Homestead, but Klenke will dump it out now to Nicole at center ice. He'll take a second before skating it in on his own. A shot is deflected, and Carteau's able to handle that one with no challenge. 13:31 still to play here in the first period, and both teams will make changes. A good start there for Homestead to respond after Carroll had those two chances early on. And it's going to be Drew Brimmer now stepping into the face-off dot for the Spartans against, I believe that's Blakely again. So the Chargers coming right back with their first line here against the third line of the Spartans. Asiala holds the line for Homestead. Now it's behind the net. Burge chips it ahead. Now Blakely, he'll chip it to himself. Small 2-on-1 with Leininger, but they can't quite make the play happen. Now Burge, he'll just dump it in as his teammates have to come onside. And now he'll forecheck. Comes up to Brimmer at center ice. He dodges a check from Leininger. And that one just misses the stick of Burge. Actually, they'll say it hit him, and it won't be icing. Covered behind the net by Homestead. Now held at the line by Carroll. Asiala tips it over to the side. The pass to Craig is fanned on by Burge. And Burge gets dumped. And now Blakely. He's got it in the corner. Falls to his knees, but stays with it. Now Doherty in the other corner. He chips it up the wall, off the wall high. That'll go down for an icing. So a little bit of pressure there for Carroll, but Homestead able to handle it. There will be a face-off in their zone, and Carroll keeping the shifts quick. They're going to change again immediately, so a little bit of a shorter bench for Carroll again. They're still without their captain, Devin Perry, and one of their defensemen, Caleb Demiri. So, fighting a little bit of adversity now, but worked out for him so far last week with that big win against the Vipers in overtime. Johnson clears it, but it's off the stick of Byler. Now Wollum gets in the zone. He'll have to lose control of it temporarily. Now Loxton tries to put the brakes on, but turns it over. Now Eisenbarger behind the net. He'll just flip it out as well, but Tigner just misses it. And Fiedler's able to chase it down for Carroll. Now they send the puck all the way back down. That one will become an icing. As I mentioned, Devin Perry and Caleb Demiri still out for the Chargers. Not exactly sure why. Must be some sort of internal issue. If it was COVID, they probably would have some more games suspended. But that is not the case so far. Eisenbarger and Wollum in the dot. Eisenbarger wins it. Henry Doherty sends it down low for Eisenbarger. He's in the corner now, skating up to the hash marks. Cuts to the middle, looks for a shot, and it's straight into the chest of Carteau. 11:54 to go here in the first period. As Carroll will win that draw, that looks like Ringenberg in the center spot there. Davies tries to chip it out, but it's held in by Asiala. Now Johnson down low, feeds it in front, can't find a home. Now Ringenberg gains the line for Carroll. Davies goes to the net, Lingenberg into the corner, it's off Copeland. Now Eisenbarger tumbles, trying to get to the puck, and Homestead's got some time here. Up to Johnson. He'll gain the red line and holds possession. Gets his way into the corner. Across ice feed is just going to miss. That was Eisenbarger. It looked like Carteau might have got a piece of it. Went straight through the goal mouth. And now Carroll dumps it in on, that's Lane Copeland in net. Eisenbarger. Slow plays it where Clanky has it. He about gets rocked by Byler, but he just catches his side as Clanky's shot goes into the glove of Lane Copeland. Copeland in his senior year, and I believe his third year with the Spartans. He's taken over the full-time starting duties. Alex Doherty, their backup goalie, just a freshman, hasn't gotten his feet wet here in the league quite yet, but Homestead starts to pull away in the standings as a shot goes just high for Carroll. Yeah, you know, Doherty could get his chance here in some of these games. Nicole gets a bad bounce off the stanchion. Carroll keeps it for a second, but here comes Jeanette with it. With speed, he'll gain the blue line. Tries to dangle past Clanky, but Clanky forces him down low. Now Blakely, pressured by Juarez. He gets it up, and it is cleared by the Chargers. Mulholland hustles. He could have a break here, and he's going to lose that foot race to Antoine Nicole. The rim is taken over by Carroll. Now Blakely reaches for it, can't quite handle it. Pinched on by Craig, and it's back behind the Homestead net. Reichert up the wall, misses Juarez. Tigner just holds it in and chips it back down low into the far side corner. Carroll will change, and Homestead will have opportunity here to set up a controlled breakout. Nicole wants to do it himself, and why not? Passes it off to Jeanette, and he'll gain the line. Almost gets hit there by Burge. Burge can't quite keep it going for Carroll. Now Tigner almost shoots it into his own bench. Here's Fiedler. The pass is kind of deflected by Juarez. Burge has it now. He tries to dangle through center, but Besh is there to turn it over. Now Craig gets it into the Homestead zone, but Richardson for Homestead's there. Breakout started ahead. Stretch pass for Doherty. Gets to him, but it's off sides as Tigner tried to knock it down, and Doherty just didn't stop up fast enough. 9:33 to play here in the first period. Still 0-0 with two teams looking to continue building winning streaks here. Carroll, as I mentioned, winning in overtime last week, as did Homestead. Now here comes Brimmer. Poke checked aside by Craig. Now Fiedler can't quite handle it, but Burge will push it forward for Carroll before Homestead has it. Drexler can't quite hold it at the line. Now Craig. And he'll just dump it in for the Chargers, and they'll go for yet another change. And Asiala will look to start to break out ahead. Stretch pass is knocked down by Wolin. That's a great play. Ringenberg is there to hold it in. Only for a moment, though, as Homestead almost comes away with it. Klein sends it right onto the stick of Asiala. Wolin tries to bump him off the puck to no avail. Now Klein. Passes it straight into center ice. It's tipped on goal by Ringenberg. Copeland thinks about holding it, but he'll just play it to Asiala in the corner, who takes a tumble. No penalty. And it comes back out to center. Now Woolham is someone on Homestead's changing. He's got some time. He'll shoot. That one's just wide. Through the arm of Copeland. Now Klein on goal. That one's just wide too. Phillips pinches down. And well, he's going to try and shoot it, but that one's not going to go for him. And it will go for an icing. Carroll trying to get a flurry of shots going there. They've had some decent pressure here to this point. A pretty even game. So we'll see how this one holds up. Like I mentioned in the pregame, Carroll has lost 2 of their 3 games so far to Homestead. And those two losses were separated by 3 or 4 goals each time. But, of course, they do have that one win, a 4-3 win in second or third week of the season, I believe. These teams, because of the league continuing to shut down in the first half of the year, with COVID issues, these two teams ended up playing each other for 3 of their first 5 or 6 games. We got into late December without having certain matchups happen yet, which in a league of only 4 teams is pretty rare. But we're about halfway through the season, a little bit over that now, as this is the 8th game for the Chargers and the 9th for the Spartans. Everyone is, kind of at different games right now because of the COVID issues. Leo still only has 7 played. There's going to be a penalty on that play. And it's going to, I believe, be a Carroll penalty. That's going to go to Davies with an elbow. So we'll get a quick look at that one if we can on our replay. Didn't sound like a very good hit. So we'll take a look. It is just 2 minutes. As Homestead gets set for the faceoff in a power play, you see the hit right there. A little bit of an elbow, and Homestead wins the draw. Nicole a shot, and that's a goal. Homestead wastes no time. And they're on the board. A shot from the point, Nicole just squeaks it right through off the face-off win by Juarez. And just like that, Homestead is on top. .7:34 to play. And Reichert's dumped into the boards by Burge. Homestead right back at it with some more pressure. Now here comes Carroll. A hard pass for Blakely. Gets out of the zone. Burge working for it. He'll fall, but the puck gets deep. Reichert brings it right up to Juarez. He misses it again. But the pace is picked up here after that goal a little bit. Now here's Burge. Tries to get around one. Doesn't happen. Juarez takes his time. Turns it over at the blue line. And Blakely forces another turnover at the blue line by Reichert. Burge will come in and dump Reichert. Leininger looking to the middle, but he's got no teammates there, so he must have just been looking at those signs on the glass, and now there's going to be another penalty. This one going to be on Burge. It will be a cross-check. You see it right there. So it doesn't get much easier than that for the official. He'll call that one every time. So just like that, Homestead right back on the power play. Now they don't get the benefit of an offensive zone draw this time, so they'll have to work a little bit harder for it. It looks like it'll be their second unit to start. Asiala will just chip it by Woolham, and it's now in the corner. Asiala still fighting for it. Outsized by a good amount by Phillips. And out comes Eisenbarger at the point. Faces some pressure, but keeps it alive. Homestead still with it. Elkins now behind the net. He'll work it to a corner and settle it down. 1:20 still on the power play. Asiala across to Eisenbarger. Moves his feet a little bit of shimmy action. Misses Elkins' stick through his feet, and Tigner's got it, and he'll just send it right down for Carroll. Asiala gloves it down at the blue line. A shot is high of Carteau. Now Phillips in the corner, loses it to Eisenbarger. He'll cut to the middle, and now he'll just skate it back out towards the top of the circle. Across to Elkins. Excuse me, that was Byler. Eisenbarger now chases it down in the corner. Elkins now has it. And a shot off the stick of Carteau. 40 seconds remaining, and Homestead has got plenty of possession here on this power play. As I say that, Carroll will get a clear with about 30 seconds left now. And Asiala just sends one, and that's going to go for an icing. Jeanette almost got to it before it crossed the red line, but Jeanette maybe in a little bit of a panic, just turned and ripped that one to the far side. Maybe thought he had a teammate over there, but wasn't happening for him. 24 seconds now still on the power play for Homestead. Burge in with the cross check. Homestead leading 1-0 off that goal from Nicole not too long ago. And here comes Homestead. Reichert Goes across ice for Juarez. Fakes a slap shot, but he'll hold up. And Blakely will get it out of the zone for Carroll. Nicole now, he scored the goal. Carries it in. Drops it for Jeanette. Over to Juarez. Can't quite handle it. Jumped on him a little bit. Now into the corner. Jeanette, as the penalty expires for Carroll, it's blocked in front. Now here comes Klein. Carroll's got numbers here. They got 3 for a moment. Goes, the rebound is available. Score! Brody Burge comes right out of the box and just puts that one home. The soft little backhander. And the rebound will find the net for Burge. And just like that, Carroll is right back in this one. What a response there. A nice penalty kill. You'll see the goal here. And we're all tied up with 4:39 to play. Right as the power play expires, Klein starts a rush ahead for Carroll. Leininger crashes the net. The play to just try and go for a rebound. And Burge is right there to slam it home. Copeland a little bit too slow getting over. Now let's see how Homestead responds after giving up a goal. We saw Carroll. They picked up the pace a little bit, so how is Homestead going to respond? Loxton holds it in at the line for Homestead. Johnson on the half wall. Now Leininger in the corner. Tries to dangle through 2, loses it to Fix. He's got a good shot. Now Brimmer, he's got it. The puck is still loose in front of the net. Burge has some time, but Doherty, it's blocked by Burge. His slap shot didn't get through. Now it's cleared out by Blakely. Loxton now at center ice. Burge, Blakely, the puck is just not fast enough to get to him for a potential breakaway. Asiala bumps him off the puck because he comes off the bench. Now Leininger battles down low for Carroll. Has one cut into the middle, can't quite get it to him. He'll hold on to it. Don't get caught dangling at the blue line. He doesn't, but it still almost comes free to Johnson, who would have had a breakaway. Now Asiala again. To Johnson inside the Carroll zone. It's floated out now to Leininger at center. And Leininger will circle back. Go across for Craig, and he'll go up the wall to Ringenberg. Ringenberg bumped off by Eisenbarger. That's going to be a penalty. Now Fiedler behind the Homestead net. Tingler comes crashing down for it, and Eisenbarger isn't going to be able to touch up. There is a power play coming for the Chargers. Now Johnson will finally touch up. And the penalty will go to Eisenbarger. Not exactly sure what for. It would have to be that hit on Burge, but it looked pretty clean to me. We'll see what the call is. Maybe a charge? It looked like what the gesture was. And they're going to talk about it. Now they're going to talk to the coaches. A charging could be a 2 and 10. Doesn't look like that's what they're going to call, though. No, will just be a 2-minute minor for Eisenbarger. It looked like that was the indication was a charge. We'll have to wait for the official announcement, but nonetheless, Carroll going to go on the power play here with Woolham stepping into the dot. Wins the draw to Craig. A little bit lethargic trying to make a play, and it'll come to Homestead. Juarez, and he'll just dump it right down. It's not on goal. Craig has it, and he'll turn up ice for Carroll. Dropped it for Woolham, who will start to play ahead. Gaining center, now into the zone. He'll carry it into the corner, almost loses it, but sticks with the play. And now they'll look to settle things down a little bit. Woolham goes over for Craig. It's on his skate, but he loses it. Jeanette fans on the clearing attempt. Now Craig fans on a shooting attempt. Woolham will shoot. That one goes wide off the blocker of Copeland. Tigner up top. Over to Craig. He'll shoot for some traffic. That one goes just wide as well. Tigner a quick shot. That one's not even close. Craig comes down, but Nicole is able to come away with it for Homestead. Into the zone, Tigner. Batted aside by Juarez, but Reichert's got it. Homestead doing a good job, killing some time right there. Now Ringenberg, he's just going to have to try and chip that one in because Nicole's right there to try and stop him. Nicole had the puck and chipped it up towards the Carroll blue line before Carroll sent it back down, and Reichert's got it. We'll try and send it up the middle. Carroll is changing, and we're going to have a penalty. We got an injured player down. That's Reichert, injured player down by the Homestead net. Ringenberg's going to have a penalty. We'll see if we got a look at that on the replay. And you'll just be able to see it. So it happens right here in front of the net. You see Ringenberg coming down, and just a little bit of a charge almost right there. And their trainer is on the ice now. So, all right, Reichert's up. So we will not be stepping aside and taking a break. The referee's discussing what the penalty is going to be. I would have to assume it might be at 2 and 10, but we'll wait for the official verdict. And Reichert is going to step off the bench and talk to this trainer for a moment. The referees continue to discuss. 1:23 to go here in the first period. It's 1-1 off goals from Nicole and Burge. It's going to be head contact, which is an automatic 2 and 10. We'll see if he stays in the game, which as of now, it looks like he will be. So it is just a 2. It won't give him a 5. The Carroll coach is pleading his case, but to no avail. The referee, Potter, really doesn't care. And it looks like Reichert might have left the area to go get some. Oh, okay, never mind. He's still over there. He's just sitting off to the edge. I didn't see him in his original spot, so I thought he might have been leaving to get a better evaluation, but they're just going to sit down. He's getting looked at by the trainer. Juarez is still talking to the official. He might be pleading for a 5, but he's not going to get it. So we'll play 4-on-4 for about 30 seconds. Then P.J. Eisenbarger's penalty will expire, and it'll be a 1.5-minute power play for Homestead. Well, now the Homestead coaches are yelling at the referees. We're going to have some more discussion. 1:23 still to go in the period, like I said, so there will be carryover time on the power play for Homestead. Not a whole lot, but enough. DJ Fisher, the coach of Homestead, still, of course, going to be pleading his case. I wish we had a better look at it to get a better judgment, but Reichert maybe hitting his head on the post after he got hit or something. It looked like he was falling pretty violently, and he's actually going to go to the dressing room right now. So we'll try and keep our eyes on that situation. So it'll stay just a 2. You know, you can plead your case as much as you want, but usually you're not going to get the outcome changed. So 4-on-4 hockey. Klein turns it right over to Juarez, who turns it right back over to Klein. Down low, he'll take a second. 4-on-4, plenty of ice now. Leininger will hold up briefly, go back across to Klein. Gains the blue line and fires a shot on Copeland. He'll turn that aside, no problem. Klein puts a little shimmy on down low and breaks free for a second. It's off the back of the net. Not sure what he was going for there. And Juarez in the corner. Klein has it again. Now Blakely. Eisenbarger comes out of the box. So it's a power play now for Homestead with about 40 seconds to go in the period. Eisenbarger, he's got some space, looking to burn Phillips. He turns the corner, loses the puck. He'll tumble. The puck's in the corner. Leininger now has it. He comes through with speed, tries to cut to the middle. It's in his skates. He'll stick with it. And he's just going to slap it down to Nicole. And now Juarez gains the line. 15 seconds to play. Juarez in the corner. Bodied off almost by Phillips. Juarez in the other corner. He'll leave it behind the net where Nicole will pick it up. Sends it back around to Juarez. 5 seconds, just wide off the stick of Cartel. Blakely clears it out, and that'll do it for the first period of action here at the Parkview Sport 1 Ice House. Carroll leads Homestead, Carroll and Homestead tied with the score of 1-1. We'll be right back. This is Indiana High School Hockey on SummitCitySports.com. Welcome back to the Parkview Sport 1 Ice House for the second period of action here between Homestead and Carroll. A 1-1 game and 36 seconds of power play time remaining for the Spartans. And they're going to start it out with Besh, Byler, Elliott Doherty, PJ Eisenbarger, and Asiala as they try and push here for a goal to start this period on a high note after losing Reichert, presumably, to an injury. It looks like there's a little bit of a gathering outside the Homestead dressing room. And I don't see Reichert on the bench. Now here comes Eisenbarger. Tries to toe drag Phillips, doesn't happen. Now Byler will get it deep to Eisenbarger. Eisenbarger in the corner with it. Skates up the half wall. Byler over to Asiala. A shot through some traffic. It's still loose, but Phillips comes away with it. Unable to clear it, still Carroll. Burge can't quite get it out, but now it does come out. Asiala goes over for Besh. Eisenbarger with it. Almost offsides. Besh tries to go to Eisenbarger, but it's broken up by the stick of Tigner. Asiala keeps the puck alive as the penalty expires. Alexander Austin coming into the zone for the Chargers. Elkins down low for the Spartans. Tries to feed it in front. It's off his skate. Tigner backhands it off the glass, but Juarez is there at the blue line to keep it alive. Carroll trying to skate it ahead. Austin gets it out momentarily. Juarez brings it back across, but it's offsides. Carroll had a chance there to start a break, but Austin just couldn't quite corral it fast enough to get the rush started. Just a minute gone here in the second period. Again, the score is 1-1. The 2-10 for Ringenberg has him still sitting in the box. He'll be coming out here close to the end of the period. That's a little bit of a tough loss there for Carroll, one of their top 6 forwards, especially with Devin Perry still out. Now here comes Blakely for Carroll. His stick is lifted just enough that he can't control it. And now Fix has it for Homestead. Tries to chip it into the corner, but Klein's there to glove it down. And now Carroll tries to come away with it. It's inside the Homestead zone. Leininger behind the net. He's in the corner battling with Asiala. Juarez gets it up to Jeanette. Jeanette will chip it around Klein, but Klein is the first one back. Fix on the scene for Homestead. Can't get it. Blakely has it. Chips it into the skate of Leininger, and that halts the breakout immediately. Juarez for Homestead had it temporarily. Now Jeanette, it's kind of fumbling around in front. Fix finds the rebound, and he scores! Puck is fumbling around in front of the net, and it's Cody Fix that comes in to put it home. And Homestead is back in the lead here early in the second period. Way to just have a nose for the net there. And just like that, not even 2 minutes into the period, and Homestead is up. Tigner keeps it alive for Carroll and chips it back down into the corner. Fiedler tries to corral behind the net, but he's in a battle. Birch had it, loses it to Eisenbarger, who chips it out. Tigner keeps it alive again. Actually, he'll just shoot straight into a pane of glass on the team's bench. The face-off, I believe, is going to come out of the zone, and it will, because Tigner, despite being in the zone, is still a Carroll player and hit it out of play. It'll be Woolham and Eisenbarger taking the face-off for their respective teams. Now Nicole playing a very offensive game, and he's going to take down Burge. Now Eisenbarger goes over to Nicole. Burge tries to get some revenge, gets a piece of him. Now Craig's going to try and, show some muscle. Byler's going to reciprocate that to Fiedler. And now everyone's just trying to throw some bod. I mean, why not? That puck is going to go out of play. But maybe the temperature is starting to rise a little bit. Burge is talking to the ref. He didn't like that play there from Nicole. Nicole, an alternate captain for the Spartans, a junior with 5 goals as a defenseman, 7 points. Quite the offensive defenseman so far this year, and he's done a good job playing his physical game. He's gotten some penalty minutes for it, but that is going to happen here in the Fort Wayne High School Hockey League. Now Byler gets it down into the center of the ice where Burge takes over. Blakely, his pass is tipped aside by Nicole before it can reach Simon Leininger, the intended target. Burge chips it into the zone now. P.J. Eisenbarger back for it. Skates through center, and he starts building some speed. Eisenbarger puts a little slash on his stick as Eisenbarger's backhand goes high. Henry Doherty tries to hold the line, but is unable to keep that puck in. P.J. Eisenbarger has it. Now Simon Leininger has it. Tigner takes over. He shoots straight into the chest of Copeland, and we'll have a whistle with 11:28 to play. Lots of sets of, I don't know if necessarily siblings, but at least relatives on the Homestead team. There is Tyler Eisenbarger, who we saw a little bit earlier. And he's just a freshman, had seen some limited time so far, but of course P.J. Eisenbarger leading the league in points. And then we have 3 Dohertys on the team this year. Alex, the goalie I mentioned earlier, as Klein shoots. That's off the pad of Copeland and into the corner. Elliot Doherty, a senior this year, making the move to forward this season. And Henry, presumably his brother, they look very similar, is playing defense this year, just a freshman. Puck is loose down in the Carroll zone. I have received word that Homestead player Reichert is in the concussion protocol, so we will probably not be seeing him back out here tonight. Now Klein with speed. Into the zone for Carroll. He takes a check, but the puck is still there. Doherty sends it back for Asiala. Besh tries to clear it, can't quite handle it, but Homestead's still going to be able to clear here. Brimmer off the boards where Besh chips it in. Klein reaches it first and gets it up to Woolham. Woolham just gets around Loxton, takes a bump, but keeps the puck. He'll shoot off the side of the net. It's still there. Asiala has it, chips it up, and Woolham will send it back down into the corner for Carroll. Juarez will give it a go to Asiala. He'll chip it to Juarez, and here comes Juarez. 3-on-2 for Homestead. A little bit slow. Brimmer goes for a change, and Juarez, the puck is knocked aside from him. Tigner, with the player right next to him, just tries to do a little bit of a rim play. And now Juarez has it in the circle. Tries the little toe drag move. Doesn't happen for him. Puck is fed in front. And Drinkle gets to it for Carroll, but it's kept in by Jeanette. He just sends it to Juarez. A one-timer goes high of the net. Henry Doherty keeps it in. Sends it down low. Juarez on it again for Homestead. Good shift for Juarez. He'll cut back. Send it in front. The puck is still loose. And Jeanette's going to come away with it on the far side. Nicole, shot into the chest of Carteau. Homestead with a nice little bit of pressure right there. Getting a couple of pucks to the net. Juarez with the one-timer just going high, and then he feeds a puck off the pad of Carteau. That could have been a dangerous one if Carteau wasn't holding his angle right. And unfortunately for Homestead, enough traffic in there that Jeanette wasn't able to get good wood on it and send it home. So with 9:24 to go, we'll have a face-off to the right of the Carroll goaltender, Carson Carteau. Eisenbarger has it on the wall. It'll come to Nicole. He'll shoot just wide. In the corner, it's Klein. Sends it up the wall. It's cleared out. Here comes Blakely. He's got Mulholland with him. Looks, fakes, pass across through the skates of Mulholland. Danger averted there for Homestead. Here they come the other way. Now Eisenbarger, 3-on-2 if they hurry. Cuts to a middle, a little bit of a shot into the chest of Carteau, and we'll have a whistle. That 2-on-1 there just missing for Carroll. We'll take a quick look at that on the replay. As here comes Blakely. He's showing pass the whole way. Fake shot for just a second, then goes back to the pass from Mulholland, and it's just through his skates. And now Doherty has it. He'll play it up to Johnson. Austin tries to get it into the zone, but Homestead has it now. They gain the blue line. Byler gets through Mulholland. Now he gets through Klein. He's into the corner. He'll cut back. He's tripped up by Klein, and he'll sit too. And Homestead will go back onto the power play. They already have one tonight on the power play. We'll see if they can capitalize on another one. Penalty will be a trip to number 29, Cameron Craig, the junior for Carroll. And Carroll getting in a little bit of penalty trouble tonight. They're going to have to clean that up here moving forward. As setting up from Gretzky's office, it's Elkins. Over to Eisenbarger. Up top to Asiala. He's got time. Half slap shot. It is blocked. Phillips gets to it for Carroll. And Birch tries to slap it out. Asiala holds over to Eisenbarger. It jumps his stick. Now Tigner tries to rim it all the way around, and it's going to be just held in there by Byler at the blue line. I didn't know if he was going to get there, but just in the nick of time as it bounces around in front. Asiala, a slap shot. That one's trickling into the corner where Eisenbarger will pick it up. Carroll clogging up the middle. The pass to Elkins didn't get there. Now Besh in the corner. Dodges Phillips and sets up behind the net. Tries to backhand one in front. Homestead digging for it. They can't quite find it, and it's finally cleared out by Carroll. They'll try and get a change as those players have been on the ice for a full minute penalty killing, and they'll get a full change. Homestead not in any rush. They'll take their time setting this one up. Juarez found in the middle. Great pass there by Asiala. Juarez turns around, tries to leave it for Jeanette, but Clanky's there for Carroll. Klein breaks up the pass, trying to go to the middle of the ice. Blakely dodges Nicole, but Elliott Doherty on it for Homestead. Leave it back for Jeanette. Less than 30 seconds to go on the power play. Now Juarez breaking into the zone. Leaves it. Brimmer. His shot goes wide. It was blocked. Stretch pass just misses Blakely. It's a little bit behind him, the pass from Klein, but they're on penalty kill, so no icing. 10 seconds left on the power play. Nicole in the corner, brings it forward. He's going to skate this one himself as the penalty is set to expire. Nicole and Klein battle for it, but Klein comes away with it. He'll send it down. It's tipped by Doherty. Wollum's on it. It's not going to be offside. It's not going to be icing. Actually, it's going to be something. It is going to be offsides. I thought he looked offsides, but the linesman wasn't calling it. But that one will come out of the zone. And it is going to go all the way down. Wollum was pleading his case there, so it must have been a lot closer than I thought. I was still looking at the play developing up here as he came out of the box and crossed the blue line. I thought he was offsides by a mile, but who knows. Klein will go back for it for Carroll. 6:20 to play here in the second period. Leininger is battling on the wall. He's got two white jerseys around him. Gets some help from Klein. Can't quite get it out, and it'll go back down into the corner. Clanky will retrieve for Carroll. He's immediately pressured by Byler, who will take it over. He's met by Burge on the half wall, and 3 Carroll jerseys converge. In the corner again, now Klein. He'll try and send it back up the same side. Burge to the middle, finds Woolham, and here they come. Woolham with Leininger. He'll get into the corner, bodied by Johnson, and Johnson has the puck for a second. It's at the side of the net. Leininger keeps battling for it. That's Woolham, excuse me. Now Woolham scores, finds it on the side of the net, and just tucks it right in. Copeland not on his angles. And Carroll has tied it up. Chris Woolham finds it. Let's just take a look at this whole sequence here. Woolham gets in behind the defense, is battled for a little bit at the side of the net, comes around to the other side, and Woolham's just able to find it. It looks like he shot it off the back of Copeland's skate as he was trying to slide over and cover that post. But they all count the same when it comes down to it, and with 5:37, we're tied at 2. It's behind the net now for Carroll. Henry Doherty holds it in. Cameron Craig tries to backhand it up. He fans on it. And he'll still battle for it in the corner. Elliott Doherty gets around one. A shot goes wide of the net. Henry tries to pinch down. He'll shoot. That one's into Carteau. Homestead sends it back behind the net where Cameron Craig has it. Chips it up the wall, and it's cleared out by his teammate. That's Alexander Austin. Henry Doherty gets a little bit of a break now. Can't quite handle it. Drew Brimmer in front. It bounces off the pad of Carteau, but no one from Homestead is there to send it home. It's backhanded almost towards his own net by Craig, but no danger there as Doherty dumps it back in, and Carroll will restart. Craig just rips it off the glass. It squeaks out just past Nicole. Homestead trying to make a change. Almost too many men had that player jumped on the ice. Tigner's just going to send it all the way down for a little bit of relief. And with 4:49, one extra tick off the clock, it'll be an icing for Carroll. But Carroll doing a great job here finding these equalizers. Down 1-0, tie it up. Down 2-1, tie it up. So the Chargers doing a good job here of staying in this one. And I might be feeling an overtime. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but, I mean, who knows? Everyone loves a good overtime, except for maybe the coaches. Asiala flips it up to Klein, who has it for Carroll. Now it's right back to Asiala. He fans on it. Mulholland fans on it, too. Now Klein sends it off of Juarez. Woolham at center ice. Now he'll turn it over. Jeanette has it. He gains his own. Leaves it for Juarez. Juarez sends it around. Loxton is slow to pinch on it, but he gets there. Clanky in the corner for Carroll. Sends it up the wall. Loxton doesn't quite see it in time. It squeaks past him. No icing called. Mulholland on the forecheck for the Chargers. Asiala skating ahead. Chips it past Woolham. He's bodied off by Drexler. But Homestead still has it for a second at center ice. Now it's on the stick of Woolham. Woolham with some speed again. He'll shoot. That one's saved by Copeland. And it comes out to Fix. Loses control for a second. Backhands it to Juarez, who knocks it out of the air. He'll go around Woolham, but he will fall in the process. No penalty. Klein rims it up to Drexler. He tries to just send it all the way down. He kind of fans on it. And it's sent right back in. Comes out to Asiala on his own blue line. Cross ice for Eisenbarger. Bounces off of his stick, and Klein's got it. Klein eating a lot of minutes tonight for Carroll. And has done pretty well in those minutes. And now Clanky is just going to send it down and ice it. Carroll may be getting a little tired here. That's a couple of icings in a row, and a couple of times they fanned on trying to ice it. Now Ringenberg is out of the box, so the forwards will add an extra body. .310 to play. Eisenbarger and Davies step into the draw. And Eisenbarger wins it for his team, and he'll get the puck himself too. And we'll do it all over again as the shot from Nicole is easily stopped by Carteau and held on to. Homestead starting to get a little bit of breathing room at the top of the standings with 8 games played, 12 points. The Vipers 8 games played, 9. Homestead has a chance to improve to 14 tonight with the win over Carroll, which, still to be determined. But, maybe the Vipers a little bit feeling some heat from Carroll, especially if Carroll wins tonight. That would put them just 1 point behind the Vipers for the 2nd seed. Now Fiedler, bumped off by Nicole. It's in front. It's off the back of Byler, and with speed, here comes Eisenbarger. Tries to dump it off, but it's intercepted and turned up ice by Carroll. Just dumped out. Now Nicole again. Off the stick of Drinkle, here comes Carroll. Davies has some time with it. He just has to back one through, though, as he felt the pressure coming. Byler in pursuit. He's going to be met by Phillips. Phillips wins that puck battle, but Eisenbarger still has it now for Homestead. Gets in the zone. He continues to battle for it, and Fiedler just dumps it down the ice where Henry Doherty will take over as we hit the 2-minute warning. Stretch pass cross ice to his brother Elliot Doherty. No icing called. He got a piece of it, but he's waiting for some reinforcements. He's all alone. Now there's Besh, but the puck misses him. Blakely comes down for the puck, but Brimmer has it first. Henry Doherty. Now Phillips for Carroll, and that's going to be an icing as well. So Carroll's 3rd time icing it here in the last 2 minutes or so. And Homestead really starting to put some pressure on right now. Copeland has seen a couple of good chances here from the Chargers, but the volume in this game has to be in favor of Homestead. Carteau's seen a lot more shots, maybe not necessarily more dangerous share of the chances, but at some point quantity will add up. Still just 2-2 though. Brimmer for Homestead, skates it up the half wall. Asiala, he'll look to shoot. Blocked by Burge. He's going to have a break here if he can get fast enough. Just out of his way. Still comes to it first. Saved by Copeland. No problem with that one for Copeland to preserve the game. We'll take a look at that one on the replay while we have a second here. The block by Burge, it just spirals a little bit out of his way. Just didn't get a great angle on that one, and Copeland does a good job coming up, standing at the top of his crease and shutting the door on that one to keep this one 2-2 with 1:14 to play here in the period. Juarez tries to clear. Woolen makes a great play to hold it in. Dumps it into Blakely. He redirects that one, but Copeland says no. Asiala up to Juarez as we hit the 1-minute warning. Juarez will gain the center and just dump it in. Elkins there with a little bit of a body fake to scare Leininger off the puck. 2 big boys right there. Leininger has it now. Gets around one, almost falls, keeps trying to dangle, loses it. And now Juarez. Another player that's had a lot of minutes tonight. These two teams are running 2 lines pretty much the entire game. The one-timer feed for Juarez is blocked. And it's going to be cleared out. Under 30 seconds to go. Asiala. Off the wall to Juarez. They continue to battle for it right at the blue line. It's in the feet of Juarez. Surrounded by 3 blue jerseys, but he almost comes away. He does come away with the puck, and he just flips one on goal into the glove of Carteau. 10 seconds to play. 2-2 game. Like I said, it seems like these two teams are just running their 2 forward lines back to back. I mean, Asiala seems to have been out on the ice for a long time as well. So these teams invested some manpower here. I haven't seen the third lines a lot for either team. Eisenbarger wins the draw to Juarez. Woolham gets to it. He'll just send it down. Davies can't quite find it, but the clock will tick down, and that'll bring us to the intermission with a tied score of 2-2. Homestead and Carroll, you're watching Indiana High School hockey on SummitCitySports.com.
This league promotes finding diamonds in the rough, kids that didn't have an opportunity, they're on the wrong team, they had the wrong coach. If we can find those kids, which we have 20 of them now, that we build a team in 45 days.
I look at like the amazing facilities and like the coaching staff, like everything looked perfect for me.
It's kind of a no-brainer for me.
Here I heard was very professional, and I had absolutely no idea that it was such a big hockey community.
Saw the amazing facilities here and coaching staff.
Felt like it was a good fit for me. I noticed my confidence got up.
I think the system starts with what you do off the ice, right? And that's been our biggest challenge, right, is taking these kids from different places in the world, right, and bringing them in and trying to establish a culture. And it's been difficult, right, to teach discipline, to teach accountability, to show up on time, right? That's where it all starts. We have the resources that, frankly, other programs don't have, and we try to utilize them to the best of our abilities.
I mean, they'll help each individual out as well as like all team stuff, so they do a good job giving everybody what they need to get better at or what they think they should be working on more. Our schedule's really nice during the week. We get a lot of ice time in the gym. All the facilities here are brand new, super nice, from the gym to the locker room. The rink is unreal as it is.
We work out twice a week here, and our trainers give us as much of resources as they can to push us and make us better off the ice, to help us on the ice too. All of our workouts are kind of tailor-made for hockey players. And
the coaching staff helped me get better, like offensively. John Solway helped me like work on my stride, my edges.
His teaching is really good. He processes it in a way that makes it easy for us to kind of reciprocate what he's doing in a way that's kind of lower to our level.
For them to see the professionalism and the support that they have, I mean, it's second to none. It's remarkable to see, these guys, getting the chance to, talk to the, people in the community and the kids, and the opportunity to really have that moment to themselves, right? And have that opportunity to essentially, live the day in the life of what it's like to play pro hockey, right? I mean, they're around the Fort Wayne Comets. Earlier in the year, guys were coming out, and helping the kids. And it's remarkable because they get to see what it takes to play at the next level. Right?
Not only Josh, but we've got Jerry Most, who helps with our goaltending, and Paris Duffus, who is a familiar name for Fort Wayne fans, that really helps our goalies off the ice. And I think gives them the mental approach that they need to advance to the next level, as we know that's really important with goaltending.
He preaches accountability. He always makes sure accountability on and off the ice, actually. He makes sure we're doing the right things off the ice, and we're more importantly doing the right things on the ice, making sure we're always just ready to go, ready to play, never having our minds stray throughout a game or a practice, always be just ready to go.
We tell these kids all the time, from high school till about college to your junior years, you've got 7 to 8 years to work really hard and get your life on the right path, or you can goof off and not pay attention and get involved with the wrong people, and then the rest of your life after that 8 years is going to be pretty difficult, right? So trying to get them prepared for the real world is priority number one.
There's a lot of hockey players in the world, and you're not all going to make the highest team and not get noticed. Or you might become the best hockey player you've ever been at 20. You don't know when you're going to come out of your shell. So they have to have this opportunity to play, or they may never be seen.
Welcome back inside the Parkview Sport One Ice House. We're in the middle of our second intermission here between Homestead and Carroll. The score tied at 2 off of a power play goal from Nicole for the Spartans, which was responded to by a goal from Brody Burge for the Chargers. And we'll take a look at that one here on our replay in just a second, but Burge coming right out of the box and slamming home a rebound for the Chargers. We'll take a look at that one. As you see here, the rush has started. A little bit of a 3-on-2 for just a second. Leininger drives the net. Burge, just a backhand, gets it up enough. A sick little celly to finish it off, and the game's all tied up after that. The next goal of the game was a Homestead goal. Cody Fix able to find this one here in the second period. We'll take a look at that one as well. As the puck's kind of just on the boards, Fix with the nose for the net finds his way to the slot, gets to the puck first, and puts his team back in the lead. But that one didn't stand for very long as the Chargers come back and score here on this play from Chris Wollum. You'll see him here breaking into the zone near the end of the second period. And the battle just kind of ensues here at the side of the net, and Wollum, comes away with it here, tries a little wraparound, throws it off the skate of Copeland, and, he'll reciprocate that nasty celly from earlier. And just like that, that's how we got to where we worked as we sit here now in the intermission with the tie to game 2-2. As I had mentioned earlier, the Spartans lead the Fort Wayne Area High School Hockey League standings with 8 games played, 6 wins, 2 losses, 12 points with just 13 goals against, make it 15 including tonight's total. The Vipers behind them with 8 games played as well following their loss tonight. 4 wins, 3 losses, and 9 points on a 2-game losing streak for the Vipers. So they'll look to correct that next Wednesday night, presumably against Leo if all things go well. Carroll currently in 3rd place tonight, playing their 8th game, but through their 7 they've played so far, 3 wins, 4 losses, 6 points, 25 goals against, the most of any team in the area hockey league, but the second most goals for with 19. And bringing up the rear, but still just 1 point behind Carroll so far with 7 games played tonight after their win. The Leo Lions, 2 wins, 4 losses, 5 points, 22 goals against, 10 goals for. They'll play back-to-back on Friday and Saturday against Carroll. Both those start times are at 8 o'clock. Unfortunately, on Friday night, here on SummitCitySports.com, we won't be able to bring you the Carroll-Leo game as there's just too much basketball going on to cover the SAC conference. The girls' season starting to wind down. Lots of basketball on all of our channels right now if you want to go ahead and check some of that out. As well as, of course, the boys' season still going on as they're reaching about the halfway point of the conference season. Last night, a big matchup out at Homestead between the 2 top teams in the area, Homestead and Blackhawk Christian. The Spartans able to pull away late and win that one. But getting back to hockey, staying on focus here. On Saturday night, Leo and Carroll will run it back. That one also at 8 o'clock. We will have that one for you on SummitCitySports.com. And rounding out the hockey schedule this week on Sunday, we'll have to find this one on Hockey TV. It'll be the Fort Wayne Spacemen taking on the Metro Jets development program. That's going to be a 7 o'clock puck drop on Sunday night. Not sure right now what the fan policy is going to be. The last home game they had, they didn't allow fans in, but they were going to allow family members in to their game. They got postponed last Saturday against the Toledo Cherokee. The Spacemen, in their second year, putting together a pretty solid season under head coach Kaylee Schrock, one of the assistant coaches for the Fort Wayne Vipers. Other hockey news right now, of course, it is opening night for the National Hockey League. Glad to have hockey back. 2 games going on right now. In overtime, it's the Canadians and the Maple Leafs tied at 4. Josh Anderson with the pair of goals for the Canadians. I knew that would be a good pick for my fantasy team, the new addition from the Columbus Blue Jackets. And my team, the Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning on NBCSN, absolutely destroying the Chicago Blackhawks 4-0 so far, just a little bit over halfway through the second period. The slate was opened up tonight with the Flyers, a 6-3 win over the Penguins. So the big question for the Penguins, of course, is are they still in a contending window? A lot of people would argue with Sidney Crosby and Malkin, you're always in a contending window, but we'll see. A very tough division for them this year, and they got 7 more meetings on the schedule with the Flyers. And now that Maple Leafs-Canadiens game has gone final, the Maple Leafs coming out with the win in overtime. Morgan Riley from Tavares and Austin Matthews. So the Maple Leaf season off to a good start. They're arguably the favored team in the Canadian division. But as the Zamboni has one more pass left, we'll go ahead and step aside for another 2-minute break. You're watching Indiana High School Hockey on SummitCitySports.com.
The Kelly Automotive Group is simple, transparent, reliable. Simple. Our customer specialists make buying a car easy and fun. Transparent. Our price listed is the best price. No hassle, no gimmicks. Reliable. Buy with confidence and peace of mind. We work hard to ensure the best value however you shop. Come see us in Decatur at the 2733 Auto Mall and shop 7 brands in one location. The Kelly Automotive Group. Simple, transparent, reliable.
This is an invitation to join a movement propelled by people who care and members who have a share in the place they bank.
Good morning, Sam.
So when you have the chance to get your first home loan, you know an expert will guide you every step of the way. Or when it's time to buy your new car, you'll be treated like more than just a credit score.
Good news, ProFed can get you that payment.
This is an invitation to a place where simply belonging can help enrich your whole community. ProFed Credit Union. You're invited.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
Welcome back, Indiana High School Hockey. Joe Hacker alongside my cameraman Brandon Porter tonight. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to one of our primary sponsors that allows us to come out here and do all these hockey games and basketball, soccer, volleyball, football, whatever it may be. Parkview Sports Medicine is the area's largest integrated sports medicine team, specialized in serving every level of athlete. No matter if they're trying to get better at what they do or recovering from an injury, our experts coordinate your care in state-of-the-art facilities in our community. To start your journey, join us at parkviewsportsmedicine.com. And, of course, today's broadcast is brought to you by SummitCitySports.com. Follow us on Twitter at 260sports, like our Facebook page, Summit City Sports, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, getting set for a third period action here at the Ice House. Homestead and Carroll tied at 2. No changes in goal, not that we expected any, but should be set for a good third period here. Homestead with the win would really start to open up a lead for that first seed in the city tournament, which I'm sure they are definitely keeping an eye on. And Carroll has an opportunity to really close the gap against the Vipers. Both teams would have 8 games played and separated by just 1 point in the standings. And Carroll with the chance to make up some points here this weekend with that back-to-back against Leo. Leo, like I mentioned in the intermission, bringing up their rear. But a big win tonight over the Vipers and took Homestead to overtime last Wednesday. So, those should be 2 good contests on Friday and Saturday. And just a reminder, on Friday, we will not have that broadcast for you here on SummitCitySports.com. We'll be covering too many other basketball games, just don't have the resources right now. But we will be out here on Saturday night. That's going to be at 8 p.m. puck drop. Speaking of puck drop, here we go. Third period is underway between Carroll and Homestead. Burge Now Eisenbarger, Asiala has it. Nobody home on that board's pass. Craig will try and carry it in. Eisenbarger steals away. He's bumped off by Craig. Craig is sticking with it here. Now Burge has it. Burge tries to dangle through a couple. He gets there. Woolham a shot. That one goes high. Eisenbarger with it for Homestead. Woolham forces a turnover. He's almost hit by Johnson. Dodges that one. Burge gains the line. Tries to drop it for Woolham. Intercepted and turned the other way by Byler. It's going to miss Eisenbarger and go down for an icing. 44 seconds gone here in the third period, and Carroll has a good start. Kept the puck on the Homestead side of the ice. Look to keep that up. Like I said, a huge win potentially here for Carroll. This would be at least their second in a row coming out of the winter break. That overtime win against the Vipers, which I'm sure the Vipers weren't exactly happy about, and it came out and happened to them again tonight. 2 games dropped in a row. They're going to have some serious course correcting to do. Now tonight they were without Trevor McKinnon and Keegan McComb, 2 of their first line players, but I'm sure they're not making excuses in that room. They got to have results. Carroll feeling the same way. So does Homestead. As Carroll dumps it back in the zone, Richardson will regroup. Pressured by Ringenberg. Gets it up to Juarez. Cross up the middle to Jeanette. It's off of his stick and into the zone. No icing called. Elkins behind the net. Backhand. Carto will have it. And it'll just be between his legs there. Hit him there for a second, and he just kind of froze. Didn't know for sure where it was. And goalies will tend to do that. You don't want to move and accidentally cause the puck to come loose, especially in a tight game like this. But what's not a tight game is the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Chicago Blackhawks. That pass for Elkins just slides through the goal mouth. Nobody home on the back door for Homestead. Leininger chips the puck in. Now Blakely in pursuit. He's going to have to fend off Nicole. Nicole will fall, and Blakely comes away with the puck. He's still pressured by Richardson. Now he's got behind the net. Tries to feed it in front. Leininger can't quite handle it. It's in his feet. Homestead has it now. Nicole leading the rush. Cut into the middle. Trying to change his angle. A shot. A nice little shot there. Fended off by Cartel. Rebound is still loose. Juarez can't get it. Nicole almost holds it in, but it runs up his stick and comes out. Leininger almost called for a hook there. Juarez comes away with it. Juarez with some space. Shot saved by Carto. Carroll defender lost his stick. That was clanky. Leininger trying to bring it ahead. Nicole holds it at the line. Now it'll come out to Leininger. He's got a 2-on-1 with Ringenberg. A shot. Rebound is there. Saved by Copeland. The net's dislodged. They'll blow it dead as Homestead had a rush coming. But Carroll with a rush chance there. And Homestead does a good job fending that one off with their defensive angles. You see here a good defensive play by Asiala, forcing Leininger to make a play. Copeland had the angle. And Carroll just couldn't send home the rebound. We stay tied at 2. 12:39 to play in the third period. Homestead wins the draw. Asiala in the corner. Sends it around for Besh. He'll send it right back around past Asiala to Doherty. He goes across the ice for Besh. Besh picks it up. He's got Bremer with him. He'll cut back. Goes across ice for Doherty. Can't quite handle it. Now Davies for Carroll. Chips it up to Woolham, but it's out of his reach. And Homestead has it. Bremer tries to feed it to the middle. It's in the skates of Klein into the corner. Doherty has the pressure for Homestead. Burge comes away with it. Now Klein. Klein gains center, gets around Besh, fakes a shot. Now will shoot. That one's off the glove of Copeland. Phillips shoots. That one will take a bounce and go into the glove of the goaltender Copeland. Copeland putting together a pretty good season, to say the least. 8 games, 6 wins, 1.5 goals against, .929 save percentage. Only save percentage in the league better than that is Michael Hall, with only 1 game played. Got the start tonight, but was pulled early in the game. Not sure why. Now Phillips, cross for Klein. He'll look to shoot, does so. Tipped in front. It's tipped in front again, almost on the back door, but a Carroll player wasn't aware enough for it. Davies can't quite send it back, and it comes into the Carroll zone. Klein chases it down behind the net. Dangles past one. Now comes to Woolham. He's going to just let it go for Klein. Low miscommunication. Now Homestead takes over. Eisenbarger pumps the brakes behind the net and looks to go the other way. Stretch pass for Byler is just out of reach. That'll go down for an icing. Michael Hall, just one game played. Not sure if he was in for the first goal today against by Leo, but Michael Hall in that one win, 20 saves, a 1.0 goals against, .92 save percentage. Coming in third in the goalie stats category, Steven Yides with the Vipers, 3 wins, a 1.66 goals against, and a .916 save percentage. As Carroll has a couple of shots that go wide of the net. A backhand from Drexler goes high up the glove of Copeland. Now Henry Doherty battling for Juarez. Simon Leininger shoots wide. Tigner holds it for Carroll. Backhanded down where Nicole takes over. Nicole tries to bring it ahead. Now gets to Jeanette on the blue line, almost offside, had his legs stretched out. That one probably didn't feel very good. Blakely tries to backhand but whiffs. We'll still have it. Sends it up to Nicole. Nicole looking for a shot, blocked by Blakely. Leininger comes away with it. Now Drexler, he's got Blakely with him, and that's going to be just a hair offside. We're going to have a penalty as well. I think it's going to have to be on Homestead. And it looks like it will be. It's going to be Jeanette going to the box. So just Homestead's second penalty of the night. The first one was a charge to P.J. Eisenbarger, but Carroll, on the other hand, they've taken the trip to the sin bin 4 times. And on those chances, Homestead's just 1 for 4 on the power play. They scored the power play goal to open the game. That was Antoine Nicole. So we'll see if Carroll can answer. They're 0 for 1 on the power play so far. That play is whistled dead for a high stick, and it's going to come all the way down for Carroll on the power play. So they're going to have to break this one out the hard way. Jeanette in for the slash. 1:53 to go. Still on the power play. Just 7 seconds ticked off there in that exchange. Carroll does win the faceoff. And Burge has it. Looks to start it ahead. Goes to Woolham, but Byler's right on top of him. Klein getting some power play action tonight. And misses Woolham. Now Doherty, he's going to turn and just fire it straight down. That one is on net. Tested Cartel a little bit. Came on him a little bit faster than I think he anticipated. Now here comes Woolham. He'll send it up to Leininger. Leininger gains his own, but he's bumped off by Asiala. So Doherty takes over for Homestead. He just sends it again. Klein's there. Now Blakely has it for Carroll. Goes to the backhand. A little tied up there by Doherty. Now he'll fall to the ice with Eisenbarger. Leininger in Gretzky's office. It comes out to Klein, who's able to hold it in. He's going to have to send it down. Eisenbarger stops it with his skate. Now Woolham knocks it down with his stick. A little baseball action here. Woolham going to take some time to settle things down. Over to Leininger. Walks it to the middle. Tried to take a slap shot, but Byler did a good job getting there. Now Leininger again has it. Tries to feed it across. Nobody home. Woolham on the far side. Dodges one. Shot. Turns side by Copeland, and it comes out of the zone where Phillips is going to have to chase it down. 35 seconds about to go on the power play. Woolham has it in the zone, facing some pressure. He's just going to have to dump it in where Nicole will take over with no pressure. Now Blakely, it is dumped out, but Ringenberg has it. He'll just regroup at center. And 20 seconds to go on the penalty to Jeanette. Phillips now. First part of the power play for Carroll was really good. This second half, not so much. Richardson for Homestead. Sends it on down. 6 seconds remaining on the power play. And Homestead's going to kill this one off. That'll put them 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. Nicole. Shot goes just wide. Now Jeanette comes straight out of the box with some purpose. Gets to the puck first, but he loses it. Ringenberg takes over. He falls, but gets the puck out where Richardson has it. Ooh, almost a sketchy pass there. Davies couldn't get to it and knock it down fast enough. Would have had a break to the goal. Now Klein, he'll pass to Besh. Not his intended target. There's some block in front, and it's in the corner. Ringenberg off of Drexler. It's going to get tipped, so it won't be an icing. It's not going to get there anyways. Carroll sending 2 guys on the forecheck. Neither of them stopped the breakout, though, but Jeanette's just going to circle back anyways. So job well done by the forecheckers. And look at that, an icing. Off, just misses Juarez. That's why we play the game north. We don't play south. Happens in adult league. Gets me every time. 7:41 to play. 2-2 game. And it's been a tight one. Some good back and forth action. Carroll had a lot of good pressure here this period. I can't really think of a whole lot of sustained pressure Homestead's had. About halfway through this period now. Klein, the shot is blocked by Elkins, but not cleanly. It's fed out to center by Homestead. Leininger takes over. He'll shoot. That one's straight into Asiala. Elkins has it. Gets it up to his teammate Brimmer. 3-on-2 developing for Homestead. Gets to the middle for Elkins. Backhand across. Carteau says no to that one. It's pretty much right into Carteau. The pass was intended for Doherty, but just didn't get across. Ran out of runway there. So the faceoff will be to the right of the goaltender Carteau for Carroll. 7:19 to play. Brimmer in the dot against Woolham. And Homestead has it. Asiala blocked by Davies. He can't find it for a second. They're still fighting for it at the line. It comes free, and Doherty's got it at his own blue line. Now Woolham has it. They're going to call him offsides. I think that's a bad call. His skate was in the blue, but nonetheless, that's why they're paying Mr. Glick down there to be a ref and not me. And that one is not going to come all the way down. It looked like he was skating that way, but just at this dot here in the neutral zone, still Brimmer and Woolham. Davies getting an elevated roll tonight. Oh, well, here comes Elkins. Carteau sticks it aside into the corner. Elkins, some head fakes, throws it in front, where Doherty fights for it. Tigner clears it. Now Tigner is controlling. He chips it ahead for Woolham. It's going to be an icing. And that one's going to come all the way down. Woolham just unable to get there quick enough. No tip called. And 6:49 to play. We're going to have a face-off once again to the right of Carteau. Homestead putting a little bit of pressure on now. Making Carroll feel the heat. Testing Carteau. Carteau with 3.08 save goals against, a .894 save percentage. Nicole can't hold in the line. Comes free. Leininger's got a break. He's going to beat Loxton. Goes backhand. Scores! No! They say it stayed out. We'll have to take a look at that one. Looked into me. Wow. That one's going to be about as close as it gets. Now Elkins is going to have a chance. Can't quite handle it fast enough. Now Blakely Leininger on that breakaway. The same move he pulled on the Vipers. We're going to have Burge in the corner taking, we're going to have some penalties. It looks like they might call it on both of them. They're taking Burge for sure. That'll be his second penalty of the night. And it looks like they're going to take Nicole as well. And they will. Both going to get a roughing penalty, so should stay even. But Leininger on that play there, we'll get a look at it when we get a chance. We'll take a look at it here at the next whistle. But same move he pulled last week against the Vipers to win the game in overtime. And man, that one about as close as it can get probably. We'll have to take a look at that like I said, but ref signal no goal, and we'll play on 2-2 for 5-on-5. Penalties offsetting. Woolham flings at the net. Copeland handles it, and we'll try and sneak in a look at this play by Leininger really quick. So we'll see him get the break here. Goes backhand. Oh man, that hits for sure the left post and the right post, it looks like. Man, that is crushing. Thought it for sure must have hit on the other side of the goal line there at one point, but wow. Talk about a lucky break there for Homestead. Off of an unlucky one when that puck just sweeped by Nicole that allowed that opportunity to even happen. So Byler gains the line, shoots high and wide. He's in the corner now battling with Woolham. Klein tries to get it ahead to Ringenberg. Chipped ahead. Asiala keeps it in, just sends it right back wide of the goal. Phillips. Eisenbarger sends it back down. Klein again. Ringenberg. Oh, that's Davies now. It's off of his stick. No icing. It'll come all the way down where Loxton starts for Homestead. Doesn't see Woolham coming, so he loses it. And the pass from Ringenberg looking for Woolham misses. And so the puck will come out. Carroll will just dump it in. They'll have to reset. Asiala, hard pass off the wall to Byler. He tries to just chip it past Ringenberg. Doesn't happen. Sent back down where we're going to have icing on Carroll. 5:07 to go. The Chargers really playing well as of late after losing Devin Perry and Caleb Demiri. For whatever reason it is, they haven't been around the last couple of weeks. But Carroll looks really good against the two top teams in the league here. I know the Vipers think they didn't have their best game probably last week. Oh, wow, a tip off of the knee of Clanky almost fools Carteau, but he just turns it aside with his pad. We'll quickly take a look at that one right off the face-off. Just almost squeaked in there on the post, but not going to happen. 4:58 to play. Now the face-off will come over to the other side. Juarez wins the draw clean. The shot by Dougherty is into the chest of Carteau. Can't handle it. It squeaks into the corner. Now Blakely. Got some help from Clanky. Two Homestead jerseys there as well. Blakely comes away with it. Got a man to beat. Just chips it in. He's going to try and retrieve it himself. Copeland, under some pressure, he'll play it. Plays it safely up to Jeanette. Excuse me, that's Elkins, actually. Confused by the jersey number there on the side. Henry Dougherty. Misses Elkin. Gosh, I'm messing all these up. That's Jeanette, but no icing called. Battled for on the half wall. Still battled for in the half wall. Jeanette been involved. Juarez tries to feed it in front. Jeanette, now Dougherty. Shot. Almost got blocked, but it squeaked through into the corner. Fiedler can't quite clear it out. Sent back in for Homestead. Leininger. He just sends that one down where it will become an icing. The 1-6 and the 61 and the 19 are catching me up. That's like the third time tonight I messed those up. And just like that, Burge and Nicole are both already done with their penalties. Nicole straight back out onto the ice, of course. Been a horse for Homestead all year. Like I mentioned earlier, a defenseman with 5 goals, 6 if you count the one from tonight. So having a great season, really getting it done in multiple facets of the game. As Carroll's going to ice that one again. So we'll just run the same thing back. Besch and Ringenberg in the draw for their respective teams. Carroll's going to win this one. Woolham backhands into the opposite corner for Klein. Under some pressure from Besch. Byler takes it over at the blue line. Feeds it down low where Woolham gets it. He'll just chip it out. Nicole puts the brakes on. Tries to find a play, but Carroll has it again. Davies does a good job boxing Eisenbarger out, but Eisenbarger's still going to be able to get a stick on it. Fumbled around. Nicole sends it down low for Eisenbarger. Goes across for Asiala. Asiala dodges one. That's going to be a trip. And that's just a tough penalty to take there if you're Carroll. And with 3 minutes to go, that is not the situation you want to put yourself in. We'll take a look at the penalty and the play that led to it. A great pass here from Eisenbarger to thread that one through to Asiala. A little toe drag, and Davies just catches his stick up. And it's going to be a power play for Homestead. 1-4-5, I believe now. Yep, 1 for 5. So their 6th chance. Carroll just having a tough time staying out of the penalty box tonight. Homestead on the other side of that. Just 2 power plays allowed for Carroll. Blakely, the draw is a draw, but he'll come away and slap it all the way down the ice, where Elliot Doherty will start it ahead for the Spartans. Gives it off to Jeanette. Now Juarez gains the blue line. Nicole, a shot into the glove of Carteau. Still not even 30 seconds gone on the power play. 2:37 to play, 1:37 to go on the penalty to Davies. Juarez steps in the draw still for Homestead. Nicole feeds Doherty up top. Back over to Nicole. He tries a little one-timer. And it's just into the pads of Carteau. He'll hold for a whistle. Carroll will go for a change on their penalty kill unit. 1:29 still to go. Cameron Davies, a junior for Carroll. This is his 3rd penalty of the league season. And comes at a one-timer tipped. And wow, Carteau, a great job to adjust on that one. Doherty's one-timer tipped. I believe that was Ringenberg. And a great job to get the stick over there by Carteau. Now here comes Ringenberg. He's putting the pressure on Doherty. Doherty gets there first, though. Juarez now. Temporarily 5-on-3 for Homestead as Ringenberg's got to make his way back. Did a little wipeout in front of the net. That one patted aside by Carteau into the corner. Jeanette skates it up towards the top. They'll go cross ice for Juarez, who tries a quick one-timer. Can't quite get that one from Stamkos' office. Everyone's got an office these days in the NHL. Copeland will leave it for Doherty. 35 seconds to go on the penalty. Doherty, puck was going back for him. He was going for a change, but he'll have to stop up and take it again. And that's going to go for an icing, as the pass just a little bit high, missed the stick of the intended target, and it's going to come all the way down. 21 seconds to go on the penalty. 1:21 to play in the game. So big opportunity here for Carroll to finish off this kill with the puck in the offensive zone. If they can just forecheck and keep the puck in for 20 seconds, maybe spend the last minute in the offensive zone, you never know what happens. Or could be going to another overtime. We'll see. Here comes Homestead, though. Elkins cutting to the middle. He's still got a stick on it. Feeds it in front. It's cleared out by Klein. Asiala can't keep it in at the line. Circles through center ice, tries to dangle, and he's taken down by Leininger. No call. Leininger dangling still. The penalty expires. Less than a minute to play. Nicole starts it ahead for Homestead. He's isolated, but he's just going to chip it in, try and get it himself. He's going to win the foot race. 3 Carroll players just kind of snoozing on it, and it'll generate some pressure. Leininger, he's going to rim it around. No blue jersey is home, but it's going to come out of the zone. Eisenbarger. Just about 30 seconds to play, and now Klein for Carroll. He's going to rim it. Still nobody there for Carroll. Nicole takes over. He shoots. It's wide of the net. Byler behind the net. Now Tigner rims it up, and Leininger just doesn't even try to put his stick there to stop it. Here's Byler. It's in front for Elkins now, and Carroll's going to come away with it. Tigner's just going to send it all the way down, and it is not going to be an icing. That's going to probably do it for regulation. Time will expire, and we're going to overtime, folks. How about that? So while we get ready for overtime, we'll go ahead and step aside. This is Indiana High School Hockey on SummitCitySports.com.
About the place that it put us, and the quarantine hit, and we knew we had guys that were going to work hard at home, but just the idea that we could get a lot of them together working hard at a location with people that know what they're doing was really beneficial. And I think, you know, that training did a great job for those guys to kind of get the ball rolling for them, and they came back in the end of June, early July, and it's like they hadn't missed a beat. They were flexible, they were fast, and ready to lift and run and start playing football, so it was a huge benefit for us.
To gain an edge on your competition, it starts with a free one-on-one performance assessment. Call 260-266-4007. Parkview Sports Medicine. Become more.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
All right, welcome back. Getting ready for overtime. It's going to be 3-on-3 here, 2-2 game. Homestead, Carroll, these two teams in overtime again. Both teams coming away with overtime wins last week. Only one will this week. Big 2 points, especially for Carroll here in the standings. It'll be Blakely, Woolham, and Leininger, their first, well, not even their first forward line, but their 3 top forwards, arguably. That's going to be an icing on those 3, as it's Eisenbarger, Nicole, and Byler for the Spartans. The reason I say it's a couple of big points for Carroll is this could get them a win here, could get them within 1 point of the Vipers for the 2nd seed as we start to approach the home stretch of the regular season here. Blakely wins the draw. Eisenbarger staying with it though. Woolham will knock it aside from him. Carroll have possession. Woolham chips it off the wall to Leininger. He can't quite get to it. He does now. Feeds in front for Woolham. Copeland a good save. Woolham has it now. On the wall, he'll circle up top. Tries to leave it for Blakely and misses him, and it's taken by P.J. Eisenbarger. Carroll with 2 guys forechecking. Now pinch by Woolham. That could have been very bad had he missed, but it'll be off of his stick and into the Homestead bench. If that one would have gotten by him, Nicole would have had free reign there on Carteau. So 45 seconds gone here in overtime. Each team will change their units, and we'll face off at center again. Jeanette wins this one for Homestead. Asiala, the defenseman. Juarez, the other forward. Jeanette surveys the landscape, doesn't like what he sees, but now we'll give it off to Juarez. Juarez taking his time. Homestead content to just control the puck. That's how you play it in overtime. Just hold possession. But he's tied up by Klein. Burge hesitant to go in and help him out, but now he will. Tigner with it, and Burge is trying to break free. Burge has a break. He's got some space. Rip shot. Blocker down by Copeland. Almost still trickled in past him, but not quite. Asiala settles it down behind his own net, and he'll skate it ahead. Looks to feed Juarez, but he wasn't open enough. It's off Jeanette's skate. Tigner is going to just clear it out. Burge has a chance here with speed. Asiala tries to beat over the net. 5-hole shot is turned aside by Copeland. Burge showing that speed, a little bit tired there at the end of his shift. He's going to have to change quick, and now the puck comes to Juarez. It's way out of his reach, and that's going to go down for an icing. Burge, a quick player, but just looked a little bit tired on that one. Didn't have the greatest angle. Tried to do what he could, but Copeland been strong tonight for the Spartans, as he has been all season long. Carteau playing similarly for the Chargers, doing what he needs to do. It'll be that top unit out again for the Chargers. The face-off goes straight to the goaltender Copeland. I think his own teammate won that draw back to him. So luckily he was ready for it. I was playing on a U16 team a few years ago. A player won a draw against me, and it was a goal. Goalie just wasn't ready for it. Caught him snoozing. Probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my hockey career, but happens to the best of us. It really does. Here comes Nicole. Shot straight into Carteau. Probably the fastest chest in the league tonight, as he turns that shot aside with ease. But there will be a face-off to his left. 2:58 still to go here in overtime. It's been a whistle-filled overtime compared to what it seemed like the game was going at. Nicole gets around one, cuts to the middle, shot goes high. Woolham tried to block it. Leininger tries to clear it and does come out to P.J. Eisenbarger, facing some pressure from Blakely. He'll just circle back. Nicole dangles through Leininger, gets it ahead to Byler. Can't quite handle it. And Woolham will just steer that one to safety. Blakely doesn't quite win that puck race. Eisenbarger comes away with it. Up to Nicole. Nicole's got plenty of time and space. Woolham defending. He'll knock that one aside, and it goes into the corner. Leininger will try and take a second here to set something up with Carroll. Blakely will go for a change. Now it'll be Burge. Leininger far side. He'll get it down into the corner. Trying to just circle around, find some time. Now he cuts to the middle, takes a shot. It's deflected up and out of play off the stick of Eisenbarger, so the faceoff will stay in the zone. Carroll will complete the change. Burge with his hands on his knees. And that's just the way it's been. It's been a long night for these guys, a hard effort. Carroll, short, has been running two lines the majority of the game. And Burge, one of the hardest workers on that Carroll team. I expect him to be captain by the time his high school career is up. For sure, Burge, just a sophomore, I believe. Just a sophomore, yeah. 3 points this year, but he does so many other things right. Klein a shot from the point. It's blocked by Juarez. Now Asiala in the corner gets it up to Juarez. He's got his teammate Besh breaking away. Can't quite handle it. Oh, and a great save there by Carteau. Besh just able to handle it in time to get a shot off, but Carteau says no. Now Tigner. He tries to get it ahead. Asiala bumps him off the puck, and Besh will come away with it. That pass just a little too far in front of him on that breakaway try, but was able to still corral it just enough. Carteau comes up big, though. Burge cuts to the middle. A shot. Copeland can't quite find it. Rebounds in front, and Burge tries to chip it over his shoulder, but it goes into the corner. Now Juarez. 1:15 to play. Juarez a little bit lethargic, taking his time here. No rush. His teammates changing. Now he'll go for one of his own. Eisenbarger plays it ahead to Nicole. It's out of his reach, and Klein has it for Carroll. Turns it up ice. Still under some pressure. Gets it to Woolham. It's off his skate. Now Klein again. It's going to be whistled down for offsides, apparently. With 57.7 seconds to go. Could we even be blessed with the shootout? I don't think I've ever broadcasted a shootout. I can't even remember the last time I watched a shootout. But tonight could be that very special night. We'll see. Still 50 seconds to go here. Nicole has it for Homestead. Starts to play ahead. Carroll getting caught up a little bit, but Byler is going to trip up, and it's going to be an icing. Woolham just taking his sweet time getting to that one. Some Homestead parents not a fan of that call, and understandable. But nonetheless, it will be called an icing. It'll come all the way down. 42.7 seconds to go. It'll be Blakely, Woolham, and Klein for Carroll. Byler, Eisenbarger, and Nicole still out there for Homestead. They've been riding those guys in overtime. Blakely comes away with it, tries to feed it in front. It's broken up by Eisenbarger. Potential 2-on-1. Byler and Eisenbarger as Blakely trips up, gives it to Eisenbarger. All kinds of time, and it's turned aside by Carteau and up into the safety netting. And Carteau continues to come up with some timely saves. You see Eisenbarger all kinds of time here. Just didn't get a whole lot on that shot, and it's easily deflected up by Carteau. 28.1 seconds still to go. Homestead with the offensive zone draw. It's to the left of Carteau. Eisenbarger still out there. But here comes Burge. He tries to break free. Nicole will stop that play from happening, though. Backhands it across where his Homestead teammates are. Eisenbarger in the corner. Klein loses his stick, so Eisenbarger's got some time. 15 seconds. They'll still slow play it. Doherty in the middle. Over to Nicole. The shot is saved by Carteau. Just not a great angle there for Nicole to try and slide that one home. He already has the power play goal tonight, looking for the game winner. 7.9 seconds to play. Big face-off right here for Carroll if they can win this one cleanly and get some control. Woolham just tries to fall on it. It doesn't matter. Nicole comes away with it. He's down on the goal line. Tries to feed it in front, and that's going to do it for overtime. And, folks, we are going to a shootout. So we'll step aside once again. You're watching Indiana High School hockey on SummitCitySports.com.
This is an invitation to join a movement propelled by people who care and members who have a share in the place they bank.
Good morning, Sam.
So when you have the chance to get your first home loan, you know an expert will guide you every step of the way. Or when it's time to buy your new car, you'll be treated like more than just a credit score.
Good news, ProFed can get you that payment.
This is an invitation to a place where simply belonging can help enrich your whole community. ProFed Credit Union. You're invited.
I was once a Southside kid who was led on a journey by high school football. A journey that taught me discipline, toughness, and the skills that made me a success. As a businessman with a CPA license who owns his own firm, I still use the building blocks of high school sports in my everyday life. Someday sports will end no matter what level you reach, but you will be left with the skills to compete in the next game, the game of life.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Everyone's getting their shootout lineup set. I believe it's going to be a best of 3. And it looks like Carroll, the visiting team, is going to shoot first. Simon Leininger, the only player on the ice. So this is, this one comes down to the one-on-one play. And a lot of people aren't fans of the shootout. I think it's some solid entertainment. So we'll see how this one goes. But if I had to put the advantage on one team here, I'm going to have to go with Carroll. I think they've got the better shooters, or at least good enough shooters, and the better goaltender tonight. So we'll have to see what happens. Lane Copeland has showed out this year a lot. But, Carroll's got some offensive talent. It looks like Leininger's going to start. I'd anticipate Brody Burge getting a chance here. Nolan Blakely probably the third for Carroll. Those three have really been driving the bus offensively for the Chargers. It'll be Leininger first. Referees just explaining the rules. Not that these players don't know them, but, it has been a while. Most of these guys probably haven't experienced one in a while. So here comes Leininger. And he's stuffed by Copeland. Tried some little nifty moves, but Copeland was just having none of it. A couple of forehand backhands, and Copeland does a great job sticking with him, turns it aside, and it'll be Eisenbarger, the league's leading scorer for the Spartans, on Carson Carto. Here we go. Starts out coming a little bit wide. And he'll shoot and score! TJ Eisenbarger wastes no time. Showed shot the whole way, and there was just nothing that Carto could do about it. Put it right over his shoulder. Nice little shot there for Eisenbarger. Homestead 1-0 in the shootout. So now Blakely, a lot of pressure on his shoulders here. And he'll score. Then similar to what Simon Leininger did with the forehand backhand dangles, almost got a little bit too cute with it, but at the end of the day, he got it done, and that's what matters. Comes a little bit wider, fakes a little harder to that forehand side, and he'll beat Copeland. It'll be Nicole now for the Spartans. Already a goal tonight. And he'll score as well. The Spartans just know what they're doing out here. They're just coming right in and shooting on the goaltender Carto, and they're going to make, they're going to make him beat them. They're not going to beat themselves here. A great little shot there. And the game on the stick of Chris Woolham. Homestead a 2-1 lead in the shootout. This should be the last shooter. Woolham scores. We continue. A save. Homestead wins. Oh, and he beats him clean. Oh, my goodness. That's just so tough. Woolham just the whole way had him beat. We'll take a look at this one. Copeland just goes down way too early, gets caught in the splits, and Woolham tucks it with ease. So here comes Juarez. Sudden death now. And will be gloved down by Carto. Now we're in sudden death. I made the mistake. It'll be Burge now stepping up for Carroll, the 4-shooter. Round 4. Can 4-4 get it done? No. Saved by Copeland. Shut the door on the 5-hole. It's going to be Asiala for Homestead, the young defenseman, not so young anymore. Number 10 in white, a junior. Here we go. A chance to win it. And it'll be right into the glove again of Carson Carteau. Keeping his team alive. We're still playing. The 5th round, Klein. And he scores. Carroll comes down, Klein with the shot. And he just beats Copeland clean. Carroll had been doing a lot of dangles to this point. Klein switches it up. Shows shot the whole way, but Copeland just couldn't do anything. And here you go, Carteau. If he makes the save, Carroll wins. If Elkins scores, we play on. And he's stopped, and Carroll comes away with the win. In the shootout, the Chargers are victorious. And they're going to celebrate that one. A good win for the Chargers. That's 2 in a row. And in 2 weeks, they've beaten the top 2 teams in the Fort Wayne Amateur Hockey Association. And just like that, the Chargers, 4 wins, 4 losses, 8 points, just 1 back of the Vipers, heading into this weekend's back-to-back against the Leo Lions. Well, another great game out of the Carroll Chargers. We will see you back here on Saturday night for some more high school hockey. Friday night, again, we will not be bringing that game to you, but you can find it on Live Barn, or, of course, I believe still just 1 spectator per rostered player can watch the game here in the rink. But Carroll coming away with the 3-2 win in the shoot.